for the ladies, ladies, ladies. It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew. It's time for the ladies, ladies, ladies. It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew. L-A-D-I-S, I-S, I-S, L-A-D-I-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-S, I-S, I-S, L-A-D-I-S, and we're up first.
Speak what you want.
Be great.
Speak what you want.
Be great.
Speak what you want.
Be great. And we're up first.
Bonjour, unbossed. Bonjour, unbossed. Bonjour, unbossed.
And we're up first.
Yes, ladies. That's dope.
Yes, ladies.
That's dope.
Yes, ladies.
That's dope.
And we're up first. It's time for the ladies, ladies, ladies. It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew. It's time for the ladies, ladies, ladies. It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew.
One time for the ladies in the house. Two time make the people scream and shout. Lachelle, Chandra, Crystal with Nikki. Unboss, Ed, May, and Nikki.
L-A-D-I-S, I-S, I-S, L-A-D-I-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-S, I-S, I-S, L-A-D-I-S, and we're up first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ladies First Chit Chat crew, where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. We are so excited to be here today. We are coming to you live from the Mandarin Oriental, New York. We're in New York City, y'all. We got everyone behind us. This is the first time we are doing this show all together. I know y'all have been rocking with us. You've been with us as we've been in our StreamYard and Zoom boxes out of our living rooms or on the beach or somewhere else, North Kakalaki. But we are here today all together.
You got to do it.
I'm okay.
You got to do it.
But you know what I got to do before
All
we
right.
kick off?
All right.
Lachelle,
Hey,
Chandra,
hey.
Crystal with Nikki on Boss at Bay and Nikki!
Come on now.
No, seriously, y'all. Thank you for rocking with us. This is a special day. It's our first time live together. And this really means something, y'all.
Yes, it's big.
It's big.
Look at where we are.
Look at where we are. You look beautiful.
I can touch you.
I can touch you. Usually I'm like, Shelly, hey.
Yes.
But no,
Into the box.
leaning into the box. But I want to know, what does this day mean to you with all of us being together?
I mean, it's just, I'm excited. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to see your faces in person and touch and feel energy. There's a different type of energy that you feel when you are in the actual space with the people that you love and adore and you work with. And so it just feels really good to be with y'all and around y'all.
I know. It's so funny. Usually I'm like, yo, where you coming from today? Because sometimes Nikki's on the road with Jada. Shelly moved to North Carolina. Sometimes I'm somewhere else. And we don't have to say that today. Today we are in New York City, but we want you guys to type into the comments. Tell us where you're coming from today. Tell us where you're coming from. VA, you coming from North Carolina. Flirty Murdy, I know you out there.
Come on,
Stacey, you out there. Hey, I know y'all out there. No, y'all, but seriously, it is a pleasure to be here at the Mandarin Oriental, New York. We have such a park in the back. And you know how we always share with you guys, every Thursday we have our Ladies First Chit-Chat crew meeting in the morning. And it's in those meetings where we get our topics for the week. And last week, our topic was I'm Still Standing. And that's when we brought out our pictures of us when we were young and, you know, looking at ourselves, reminding ourselves when we get in those funky spots that we're still standing, reminding ourselves of that young girl back in the day. You still standing, you did it. Well, with that conversation, everybody's best friend, Crystal JG, she shared with us that she was cooking in her kitchen. And I'm gonna throw it to you, Crystal. Tell everybody what you came up with and what we're talking about today.
Well, I was trying to figure out another way to make chicken. You know, another way to make chicken.
Is there?
But you know, it is in these ordinary ways that you know, ideas come because we're very, very unified in this human experience. And I started thinking about life, and one thing that things started coming up, and I was like, you know, these are show topics or show ideas. So I usually try to keep something to write on nearby because I forget stuff. I got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? I like this. So I'm writing down some things, and we're really collaborative. So I'll throw things out. All of us do, and then we just, you know, see what sticks. And then, like, out of nowhere, my heart spoke, and I just thought about this song called "I Hope You Dance."
I love that song.
It is one of my favorite songs. I just got chills when I said it. It usually, as soon as it begins, you know, my eyes fill with tears because it's reflective, and it usually speaks to something very, very key for me. And I just wrote on this piece of paper, "I hope you dance." It is why I ain't even got the whole story.
I know.
But I think about that when I think about, you know, my children. I think about that when I think about myself and choices that I made or things that, you know, I desire to do or need to do. And so I just wrote "I Hope You Dance." We talk at 8 a.m. on Thursday morning, and I presented it, and conversation ensued. So here we are.
So today's topic, "I Hope You Dance." And if those of you back home, it's a very special song by Leanne Womack, right? And I encourage you guys to take a listen to it. Take a listen to it after the show. And I want to kick off. I know I've been listening to this song for years. And to this day, even when I was younger, but to this day, the first couple sentences, couple of lyrics in the song talks about, "I hope you never lose your sense of wonder." And it talks about, "I always hope you keep that hunger." And I'm gonna say that again. "I hope you never lose your sense of wonder and always keep that hunger." And it's something about those words that get me right here every time. You know, as a visionary, as someone that is always dreaming big, and I've been like that since I was a kid. You can ask Miss Pat, she's watching. "Hey, what's up, Miss Pat?" AKA my mom. I've always been like that since I was a kid. And last week when we showed those pictures, I had this 3-year-old Nikki in this Wonder Woman pose. And I always go back to her because she had this sense of wonder. You could see it in her eyes. And even that little girl back when she was 7 years old, she told her mom, "I'm gonna move where the Statue of Liberty lives, and I'm gonna be on Broadway." And she was always hungry. And Crystal had asked me why, here I am, you know, why me and Crystal talking first?
I know, why
we talking
crying
first?
over each other?
But, and Crystal asked me, why does that get you? And it gets me, and I know the people back home, and I know us here can relate. There's been times in my life where I've lost that sense of wonder. There's been times in my life where I've lost that sense of wonder. And by losing that wonder, the hunger went away, and I felt stuck. And it's funny, I felt like that about a month ago, and a good friend of mine who just so happens to be directing our show encouraged me to go buy a book. And I went to go get this book, and I started reading this book, and it just reminded me, it brought me back to my sense of wonder, and it brought me back to how I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And so when I see those words, "I hope you dance," as a result, of losing that, and then having friends and you guys and this show and y'all back home to help bring it back. I can honestly say I have that hunger again. I have that hunger again.
Hunger looks good on you.
Hunger look good on me, right?
Yes, it does.
Hunger looks good on me. But I have that sense of hunger, and but I ask myself too, where did it go? How come it went away?
But you know what's funny about this song is if you're really in tune, you might not even have realized that you lost it.
Ooh, that is true.
So there's like this identity in there if you're really paying attention, because sometimes when in our sadness, we think it's, a million things, but what if one of those things is that we stop dancing, which, alludes to trying, dreaming,
Believing.
Yeah.
Nikki, you asked, how do I feel today? I feel big in the room.
Go ahead. We should have set tissue.
And I'm little, right?
Yep.
It's interesting whether it's if you're feeling sad or if you're not, and you feel really good. The thing is that we can't stop dreaming. There is a sea of opportunity, and there's always more, right? And it's so easy to be small in the room. Even when you don't know you're playing small, you can always be bigger in the room. So when you ask me, how do I feel today? I feel big in the room.
Hey.
And I'm not playing small.
Ooh!
Come on now.
You see that? That's a church run.
Tap third
A
of
row. Thank you.
That's that down. That's
This is the problem when we get together. Lord. Right.
And that's dancing.
How does that feel?
Yeah.
That feels pretty damn good.
Yes.
You have to see and put yourself there so that you will be there.
Yes.
And that's what we've done.
Vision.
Ooh, you have to see. Say that again, Nikki.
You have to see and put
Put yourself
yourself
there.
so that you'll be there.
So that you'll be there.
I love that.
So yeah, I feel big in the room. I'm dancing right now.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm not playing small.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know, me too.
Sharon Collins just said, I framed those lyrics as a graduation
I see
gift
that.
several years ago. I hope you dance.
Yeah.
Miss Mama Artez, Mama Watts said, OMG, I hope you dance is one of my faves. Time is a wheel of constant motion,
always moving us along. Wow.
This is great.
Yeah, we talked about this. We were lucky enough to be able to get together last night.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about this, and I talked about chair dancing.
Yeah.
What's chair dancing?
I was something I've done often.
You've done chair dancing a
I've
lot.
done chair
So when you go to that party and that's your jam, but you won't get out the chair and you groove in, and someone or your friends will be like, "Come on, girl, let's dance." You're like, "No, let's stay here." But you moving, but you actually won't get up and step into what you're feeling or what you want. And we talked
you
about
look like it, but you're not.
you look like it, but you're not dancing. And what we discussed is that there is this important piece of awareness that we have to have, like Crystal said, to even recognize when you're not dancing in your life, when you're not choosing to live. And part of what could keep us in the chair, or like I like to say, laying in the bed with the robe, not even in the chair.
Can I see the robe?
Right? But part of what can do that is what we surround ourselves with. Because, and I've had this, and we talked about it last night, and it was a revelation for me. I've had this where I look like I am ballroom dancing to the people around me.
Yeah.
but I'm just being really at a level that is smaller than I can be.
Mhm.
And so sometimes we stay in spaces that are comfortable and it makes us believe we're dancing, but that melancholy feeling or that feeling of being stuck
Right.
is there and we don't know why, especially when sometimes there's people around you who are like, girl, you the bomb, girl, you do, you know, but it's not your being the bomb, right? There's
Right.
you're dreaming bigger, but you're not stepping into it. You're not moving towards it.
Right.
And it's painful.
And my thing is, so I think do we have any chair dancers out there?
I've been a chair dancer, and I'd even say you're chair dancing when you're not playing at the best beyond your best.
Right.
I mean, there's a couple things that are going through my head right now, things I'm doing right now. Technically, I'm chair dancing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when go ahead, Crystal. Which
Now, I have like a million thoughts. So I'll keep two of them.
Keep it to it.
But I was thinking about, sometimes for people who have children and maybe you want your children. I have friends who went to law school because their parents said they had to go to law school.
Yeah.
And then they became lawyers and they never really want to go to law school and never really want to be, but this is what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
right.
I have a wonderful friend who then became in her adult life, she became an interior designer. Now she's this incredible, like, documentarian and doing all this amazing stuff. Not to say that she shouldn't have been a lawyer, but that was perhaps dancing for her parents.
Right.
Ooh.
And what she wanted
Dancing
to do.
for somebody
Right.
else.
So
Dancing
that, but,
for someone
and it's not about, like, we were talking last night, you either learn or you grow, right? It's not about
Right.
failure and I shouldn't have done that,
Right.
but rather, what is this taking the chance? Another one of those points of the song that talk about like how we feel, and what you alluded to, Nikki, was like, I feel like this is too much for me to do. I'm not worthy of how do I go back to college? It's too much.
Right. I'm
How
not worthy
do
or
I-
I'm tired.
Yeah, or I'm tired. And we also talked about the fact that sometimes people, age makes people feel like
Tricks us.
it's too late for me now.
Yes.
But you're too tired. You
I'm
can
too
get up and do
tired.
it again.
Well, what
Right?
do we that age thing is crucial because I think a lot of people say I found myself when it comes to having children,
Right.
feeling like that I'm getting older and maybe that's not a dance I need to go visit, and I tell myself in my sense of wonder, my sense of hunger, that it's not too late. I'm not too old,
But I also feel that age can it ain't just older people that go
Correct.
Yeah,
Good
you
point.
said
Good
that
point.
yesterday
Good
too.
point.
Yeah.
I mean it's us young.
Here we go.
Y'all young people.
Young folks.
It's her
They
and
young.
then us.
It's shiny than us.
But seriously, that dynamic I don't think it's one-sided. I don't think it's generational. I think it's completely all the way through. And people 20 years old, 30 years old, 15 years old have this sense of like, not being able to, or because of their age, or if they tried it before and then now they just feel like they can't go further, or they don't want to try again.
Right.
I mean, even with myself, like I've had situations where I've had that what we call imposter syndrome.
Ooh,
And
yes.
you try you do something and you know that you do it well, then when you're around other people who are killing it and you feel like you're not.
Right,
And so
right.
then you dim your light or take a step back. And so now, being in the entertainment industry for as long as we've all been around the entertainment industry, you kind of feel like how you can go into spaces and show up all the time, go into spaces and not dim your light, go into spaces and feel like you are the biggest person in the room.
Yes.
But it's something that you have to grow and learn to do. It ain't something that just happens overnight. You know what I'm saying?
But I think I agree with you, Shani. And I think Shelley said something very crucial. I think it also the people you surround yourself with.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely. That was the
Right.
next thing I was going to say. Like, I've had many times in my life where I've had to separate myself from groups of people that I was with at that time to mature, to go to the next level, to be able to take that next step and say, oh, I'm going to be able to do A, B, or C. Because the people who were with me over here may not have been ready to move to the next level or may not move at all.
Right.
You know, I joke with my family all the time. I'm like, when I call home, I know what everybody is doing at the exact time that they're doing it, when they're doing it. It's 2 o'clock, everybody's at home around the table, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you feel like about the home life or the home feeling. And I felt like I had to get out of California. I had to. There was no way that I can excel, that I could go to the next level if I was at home. Because everyone is at home
doing what they do
At home.
Right.
Chilling.
So,
You know?
so let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you're still that girl that got up and moved to New York City and in the same way that you did when you did it?
No.
You don't feel like her?
Oh no, I am a totally different person. Partially because I told you guys this story, and a lot of you guys, our viewers, know this story of me just kind of being stuck here, like getting stranded here. And so I feel like for me, I've matured and grew and took different risks and steps because I was like thrust into a totally different environment that I had, no nothing. I didn't know anything about it. My parents were very sheltering for, my mom didn't let me do a whole lot. We good Christian folk. We didn't do a lot. I barely listened to worldly music, as they say.
Secular music.
They didn't say secular, they say worldly.
Well, wait, can I tell you something? Carrie is saying, can you talk about when you're feeling big in the room and you're being asked to make yourself small so you don't hurt other people's feelings?
Absolutely.
That happens to women all the time.
All the time.
I can't even begin to tell you how many rooms I've been in where my bigness makes men uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And there are all of these spoken and unspoken symbols that are messages for me to get smaller so everyone else can feel okay. And that to me is a sign that I'm in the wrong room.
That I'm in the wrong room.
Come on now.
That I'm in the wrong room. But Shelly, the question is,
That was good to me.
how do you get out of that? Like, what do you say to the person that wants to be like this, but then they feel like they're like this, and they want to dance, they want to speak? What do you say to them? We can say you're in the wrong room, get out, but
Like, how do you
it's
get out?
easier said than done.
Well, here's the thing. I think a big part of our issue is we think we have to have a plan of escape. The way out is just to walk out. You don't have to make an announcement. You don't have to explain to people, this is why I'm moving to New York. This is why I'm changing careers. There's no announcement necessary, right? As I think my grandmother used to say this, they'll read it in the news, right? You just take your steps to what you want. I think what holds us back a lot is that we think we have to set up an explanation and make people okay with the move. Make people okay with the fact that I'm getting out the chair and going to the dance floor. In reality, you just need to notify them by them looking and the chair's empty, and now you're out on the dance floor. You don't have to prepare a program to get them.
Why do we feel like we have to do that though?
Not at all.
You guys, we will be right back because we're live. We're taking a break. Don't go nowhere.
Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Ladies. What time is it? It's time for the ladies. It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. It's time for the ladies. It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. L-A-D-I L-A-D-I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first.
Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great.
And we're up first.
Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed.
And we're up first.
Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope.
And we're up first.
It's time for the ladies.
It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew.
It's time for the ladies.
It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew.
One time for the ladies in the house. Two time make the people scream and shout. Lachelle, Chandra, Crystal with Nikki. On Boss, Edmay, and Nikki.
L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first.
Who's first?
Ladies,
Who's first?
ladies,
Who's first?
ladies.
What time is it? It's time for the ladies.
It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew.
It's time for the ladies.
It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first.
Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great.
And we're up first.
Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed.
And we're up first.
Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope.
And we're up first.
It's time for the ladies.
It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew.
It's time for the ladies.
It's the Lady First Chit-Chat crew.
One time for the ladies in the house. Two time make the people scream and shout. Lachelle, Chandra, Crystal with Nikki. On Boss, Edmay, and Nikki.
L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-E-S,
what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. And we're up first. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. And we're up first. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. And we're up first. It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. One time for the ladies in the house. Two time make the people scream and shout. Lachelle, Chandra, Crystal with Nikki. On Boss, Ed, May, and Nikki. L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first.
Live TV now. Live TV now.
Live.
Also, thank you to our viewers for texting and saying, y'all look good. Conversation's great. Y'all blurry though. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But we're going to get back into it. Carrie, thank you for throwing out that question and sparking the continuation of our conversation. One of the lyrics says, never take the path to resistance. And that when Carrie's question made me think about that. I know Billy always says the body naturally wants to, Billy, my boyfriend, always naturally wants to take the path of least resistance. And we in order for us to dance and move forward, we get to combat that sometimes. Sometimes it's okay.
Break that down though.
Break that down. Unpack that.
Least resistance.
Well, he talks about it from a training standpoint.
So what is
So
the
when we squat, sometimes your body, when you squat, sometimes you don't want to sit on your heels because you know it's going to hurt. So you want to go forward, and sometimes you keep going forward. However, if you want the glutes and you want to get better, and take it to the next level, the best results, you got to learn how to train your body and also take a risk. And
go towards the resistance.
Exactly. Go towards the resistance and sit back on those heels.
You know you're preaching now, right?
Hey.
Okay.
You know, so it's the same thing in life. We talk about, when Carrie's talk about when you're in a room and wanting to be bigger, and sometimes you shrink yourself. And sometimes when we get in that space, our body takes a path of least resistance because it's comfortable.
Right.
You know, you don't have to worry about the chatter. That's been part of my stuff.
Sometimes you're trying to get somebody to hear you another way.
Exactly.
You know, myself, I had that happen when I was really young. And I remember I went to go work for, all men. And I remember they had nicknames for me. They called me the Barracuda.
What?
Y'all call me the bottom line.
Wow.
And I was very young. And I remember I was trying so hard to be heard. And I think others that, that may be following us today have heard this. But I remember I shrunk myself in that conversation. And it was a woman, my manager, that pulled me aside. And she said, don't you ever do that again.
How did she know you did it? Like, what did that look like?
Because I've always been the way I am today. So when you see me deliver and you see me speak, I've put a lot of thought in what I'm getting ready to say.
What does the shrinking look like that she noticed it?
It wasn't as strong.
I see.
She
saw your
I
temperament is
literally
different.
remember shrinking in the seat.
Wow.
Because I wanted, not only was I a woman, but I was a Black woman in the room. And they just weren't trying to hear me.
Right.
But even when I think to today, and I learned a lot from that, I never did it again. But even when I think about today, people can make us feel not good enough in the room. And it can mess with you so bad sometimes that you yourself start to accept the challenging things that you think, right, that they have kind of titled you, or what's the word I'm looking for? But they've kind of pegged you as that kind of person. They defined you that way. Yet what I charge is own your greatness, own your own spice, right? I was just speaking to somebody the other day, actually 3 nights ago, about this. And she was feeling really uncomfortable in the space because, you know, during the day, you know, a lot of people may know, I work around a lot of people who are extremely technically smart, right? And there's a different language when you're really technically smart, but yet someone else like me, who I can sit right in the middle between technically smart and really business smart, right? You have to be comfortable and know that what you bring to the table and to the room is just as valuable, and if not more. And that to complete the puzzle,
You're needed.
that's right.
That's right.
You're needed.
So, and you gotta own it.
Yes.
Because if you don't own it, I don't know anybody else, but I've sat in many rooms where I sit back and I'm watching and no one's saying what I'm thinking.
Right.
And they are off mark.
Off mark.
Right.
Off
Right.
mark.
But also, this is what I was going to say a little bit earlier, is that, you know, that woman was pivotal for you in your life. And I feel like, you know, I know I'm this type of person that I look for the universe, our ancestors, God, whomever, to bring people in my path to help me push. Like I kind of like seek out for those people to come, you know. And so there's been times in my life that it's the same thing, you know. The one that is super, super pivotal to me is that y'all know I am long and tall. A friend of mine calls me long tall. Like I am long and tall. And you know, I'm 5'10" and a half. And so anytime I walk into the room, whether I want to be or not, I'm gonna stand out.
Right.
You know, and when I moved to New York, that was an issue for me because not everyone is tall here.
That's
you know,
for
and
sure.
especially in my profession, there, you know, 5'10" is like, girl, what you doing? Unless you're like a rocket or like, you know, it's something of that nature, it's not a great thing per se. And I was auditioning, I remember auditioning, and the first time I auditioned, I came in my glam heels and all the thing, and I just felt like I was doing the most because everyone else was so much smaller than me. And so I came to this call, I got called back for a particular show, and I came back the next day in flats. And I might get a little emotional with y'all on this one. But the casting director pulled me aside and he said, "What are you doing?" White guy, you know. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "How dare you do that to yourself and to me?" Because he's the one, in our profession, the casting director is the one who presents you to whomever else.
That's
And he was like, "Why would you do that to me?" He was like, "You are so beautiful, you are so tall." He was like, "That's my selling points for you."
Wow.
And I was like, "Well, everybody else." He was like, "Everybody else? Well, who cares about everyone else?"
That's right.
You know, and it took him like saying that to me for me to think about, like, you know, I was gifted with this height and with this, you know, lengthiness or whatnot. And I just had to get another level of comfort in it, being in this arena. Because I was 100% comfortable being tall at home. I was 100% comfortable in the spaces that I knew and, you know, I kind of already
comfortable in.
Was already comfortable in, and so coming into a new space, I had to relearn how to be comfortable. But it took someone like kicking me in the side, like he was like, "First of all, you need to throw those shoes away."
Damn. Not only did you mess up with the facts, they not even cute. Okay.
Throw those away. They were like, you know, the granny flats that you put in your bag.
Not the granny.
The granny flats that fold in half. I was literally trying to like diminish, like as low as possible. I wanted to be, if the smallest person was 5'2", I wanted to be 5'2". For real.
Girl.
Be heard, fit in, right?
Yeah.
The other idea is that's not your move.
That's
That's
all.
not your move. Yeah.
And so I'm like, now, I teach this when I teach courses and classes or workshops with young kids. I'm just like, you have to come into a space and demand it with whatever you have.
Right.
Yes.
You can't wait on the next person, because as creatives, and especially in the audition space, you are in line in front of someone and behind somebody.
Yes.
You see who goes in before you, and you see who's coming in after you. And so you already have a sense of comparing yourself
Right. That's right.
to them. But it's something about knowing what you bring
That's right.
and being comfortable in that.
Right.
And then understanding that in any arena, the people that you are going to present to want you to do well.
Right.
Right.
They want you to succeed.
Right.
You
They
know?
don't want trash.
They want trash.
But you really spoke that thing, because you really another show. Who cares about everybody else?
Who cares about the chat?
Really?
Right.
Because that's the thing.
Now
Because
I
we
am.
start. Because
At all.
No, I know. But I think it's.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna. But I think that really starts. The caring about everybody else, or I'll just do this instead of perhaps what we're naturally inclined to do or feel like we want to do is the not dancing, right?
Right.
I don't want to stand out. But guess what? That's why they chose you.
Right. Yeah.
Like I was saying, I was saying too, we were talking last night, and I was like, it took me a long time to get there, but I was like, now I'm just like, I always show up as Crystal.
You do show up, but who
I'm like, who else is gonna be Crystal? I'm not her.
Who's your earrings? Tell me who you are.
I'm a girl with extensions in her hair, bamboo earrings, at least 2
pairs.
but I think the thing is, like, that wasn't cool to be in a professional setting.
Right.
Because you couldn't wear, when I started interviewing a long time ago, like we couldn't have braids in our hair, right? So we had to have,
I remember that.
because that looked professional. Or, something like this where you have sparkles or what, like that didn't look, but who governs what that looks like?
It's so funny you say that. I thought about something. One of my first really big interviews, you guys know I first started a little corporate. You always wear a black or navy blue suit.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Y'all wore a red suit.
Yes, honey.
I wore a red. I don't know. I was in graduate school, and I was staying with Annette. If she's watching, shout out to Annette. She was a big sister of mine at the time. And I had this black suit on. And she looked at me, she says, "You should wear the red suit."
And
I
you
said,
did.
"You think it's too much?" She said, "Wear it." And I was like, I'm wearing a red suit. And on the bus, came to New York City, went to my first interview, and I walked in with a red suit. And I remember seeing a woman look at me like,
what is she
what is she wearing? It's almost like when you were younger and your grandma used to say, "You got your stockings on?" That kind of thing. But I walked in there, and I remember the man that I interviewed with. We were talking and everything else. And when I left, he said, "By the way, I like the suit." And he told me he always remembered me for the suit.
Yeah.
And I got the job.
Yeah.
I got the job. So it was something that you don't do, but that day I felt like dancing, I guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about what people were going to say. I'm not going to front. When I first walked in there, and my older sister lady looked at me like,
child.
yeah, I was like, and then I thought about the 3-year-old.
That's right.
And I was like, I do want to throw this out, and I want to throw this out to our viewers and all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Where was a specific time you stopped dancing?
Oh, I can tell you.
Go ahead, Amy.
Sure.
And I'm throwing that out to the viewers too. Where was a specific time in your life that you can see where you stopped dancing? Go ahead, Amy.
All right, I'm gonna get personal on you guys. I've listened. I have so many thoughts, but we're gonna keep this one and just this one.
Time out. You look gorgeous, by the way.
Beautiful.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
By the way, little parenthesis, you asked earlier how we're feeling. I'm feeling very expensive.
Yes.
This is a gorgeous place.
Yeah.
We're in the presidential suite.
Yeah.
We are looking at Central Park. I just got my hair and my makeup done, and I'm loving it. I don't get to do this every day being a mom working. So this feels like I'm not crying.
Expensive. Good.
Expensive.
It feels expensive. But expensive, like in the generous, nice,
Yes.
full, not like money expensive.
Yes.
Love expenses.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So, for me, life is a dance. For me, life is a ballet. There's an opening. There's a corps ballet, which is an ensemble, all of the little people, 20, 15 of them dancing together. And then you get the soloists. They stand out. And sometimes, as we go through life, we go through the corps of ballet. I'm pouring French on you. Or sometimes we step to be a soloist for a second. And I was thinking, I feel like it's very parallel to what we do in life. Sometimes we have to fit in because as society, unfortunately, we don't live in a world where it's just an island and we can make whatever rules we want to do, although we like to. We like to dance to our own drums, to our own beats. No, it's like, you know, we go to a party, there's always that one dude that don't, I'm sorry, I don't like that, don't give a shit what people think. And it's gonna start exploding on the dance floor, and you're gonna be like, what is this guy dancing?
The entire show.
That's the visual. The visual. I have been watching this person just dance their heart out.
No
That's
matter
what
what.
And they don't care.
No.
Oh, I know many of them.
That's the gift.
That is the visual.
Yeah, and then sometimes you gotta go back to being with the group or listen to. So it's really a ballet. So the question you're asking me, Nikki, when did I stop dancing? I think I never really stopped dancing, but sometimes I went and danced in the corner waiting for my turn to get back on that stage.
That's a good point.
I think that I danced in the shadow. You know those little, like
Yeah.
you know those big stage, and you're in the shadow, you're on the side, and I got stuck there, unfortunately. And you guys know the relationship I was in, following my kids, was not a happy one. But for 10 years, I got stuck in there. I was dancing in the corner. I knew the step, I knew everything. But at some point, I just had to get back to the light in the front, either it was in the solo or with the group. But as long as you're just dancing out there.
But you know what you're saying, Edna? You're saying I was in the corner and I was dancing, but I was in the corner. I knew the steps, right?
Yeah.
And that we all, right?
We
know what we
can
want.
feel it. We can feel it.
it.
Yeah, we can feel it. And when you're dancing in the corner, I'm gonna keep that image. Sometimes you dance in the corner because you're preparing yourself to live, and sometimes you dance in the corner and you're kind of stuck in that corner. And after a while, it started like getting like that anxiety because you're like, I need to get out. You know, I need to get out of that corner. If you understand. Something very funny, and when I told you, like leap forward as well on the dance floor, we are leaping. At work lately, and as we listen to this conversation, I'm not gonna get into the details, but I think that some people are uncomfortable with my strong, loud, French, happy personality, and they don't like the way I dance, so they're trying to change my step.
That's a good one. They don't like the way I
dance, so they try to change my step.
I
know.
And you know, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get online, but I'm gonna get online on my own steps.
Yes, right.
Not on the steps you're telling me to step.
Right.
That's not happening. I'm sorry. Like I didn't stay 10 years on the sidewalk, on the side in that little aisle to get back on the stage for somebody to tell me get back in there.
Right. No.
Ain't happening.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that still got me.
I know.
They don't like the way I dance, or they want me to change my steps.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there. We've all been in a situation that people don't like it, whether it's with, it could be a family member, a friend, job, whatever.
Yes.
They don't like the way I dance and they want me to change my steps.
In that case, you gotta dance solo, and you have to have faith and trust, and then eventually they dance with you again.
You gotta have faith and trust, and we get to know our worth.
Yes.
We get to know what we bring.
Yes.
We get to know what all of us bring something so valuable and different and amazing to this world.
Yeah.
And we get to remind ourselves that. And I want to go back to what Shelley said earlier. Part of the way to support you in doing that, of course, your faith, but surrounding yourself. Come see us, hang out with us every Saturday, because we will encourage you and inform you and remind you about your steps.
To be you
Right.
and
To
only
be you and only you. Because when we created this, it was during the pandemic, March 2020. And I can honestly say, when we got shut down, and I was not in the best space, but I was this Wonder Woman, need love too, putting yourself first in the midst of it all. And I knew who I needed to call to support in making this happen. And we thought this was just gonna be one Saturday. And Michelle and Crystal said, we gotta keep going. And having this, I think all of us when we came in this, may have been in the corner except for LL Michelle.
I was like,
she might not have been in the corner. She was already dancing. But I think us coming together every Saturday and hearing your comments and getting your emails have not only encouraged us to dance, encouraged us, I love that, to get out of the corner because we know the steps. We're saying the same thing to you, to all of us. We know the steps. And your step might not look like your sister's steps. Your step might not look like your mama's steps, but you respect their steps. You know? And go ahead.
And don't hesitate to change the dance floor.
Ooh, to change the dance floor.
Because it's just that you're dancing. I think a lot of us aren't dancing because we're on the wrong dance floor. Right? And we think but it's the dance floor we know.
Right.
It's the dance floor we
Right?
know.
We're in the studio we know, right?
And with that, don't let the wind get knocked out of you.
No, right?
You know?
You can change the floor. You can change the steps. You can change the floor. You can change the music. You can change anything to suit who you are in this next phase of your life, in this current phase of your life, right? And we think we learned a routine and we learned it at this studio with this instructor. And that's the dance that we have to keep repeating. But that's not what life is about at all.
That's right. That's right.
We have to live. We gotta live.
But and there's something we kind of talk about key takeaways because I feel like it doesn't even matter if you just like, oh, that was a good show, and then or that was a good conversation, and go back to the scene.
Right.
I think that we have to also say it takes courage to do that.
It does.
It's scary to do things differently. This is how often do people say, well, this is how you know you ain't dancing. Sorry, I gotta be crystal.
Go ahead.
Well, that's the way I always do it. So
Right.
Yep.
I've been like
that's
that.
listen, I've been like that. Well, that's like it don't take all of that. But then you can't say that and then still say, well, what's going on with my life? I don't know why I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's identifying the fact that perhaps there is something that we want to do differently. How we do it, and truthfully, I acknowledge that it can be scary.
Sure.
You know, we talk about like taking the leap. It's easy to say that. It's great to have it on a t-shirt. It's great to say, I'm gonna look for a new job. You know what one of the scariest things is to do for me? My resume. Why? Because I gotta commit the time. Then I gotta sit down. Imposter syndrome. Well, I did all of these things. Everybody did that. I'm talking myself out of all of the dopeness because everybody did it. It doesn't matter. How do I know that you did the same thing? I probably did a lot of things that you haven't done. Or that's me not doing my resume. I'm sorry, it's one girl, I might get. Me might not doing my resume might be the same as like, well, I'll just wear flats because, right? So I think that in a lot of instances, and I bring up various scenarios because I think we have a responsibility to see ourselves in a certain way, very, very honestly, so that we can say in what area of my life I could be completely, happy with certain things, but this thing right here is where I'm really, really struggling to be better.
I'm stuck.
Or I'm stuck, or I'm in the corner instead of on the dance floor of my choice. And that's what I'm charging myself with, to be courageous enough to identify what my thing is so that I can dance. And that my family and my kids and my, not for them, but they'll be like, oh, she did.
do.
Right.
Yes.
I also feel that it takes boldness. It takes especially a woman finding that little bit of courage to be able to do that one little thing. And once you feel how it feels,
the courage grows.
It
grows.
Right.
Complete that. Wow.
It grows. It's like that small accomplishment thing I was talking about
Right.
before. It's like once you feel a win, you want to keep winning.
Right.
Winning.
And so, I'm saying like, it's not easy to do that huge leap from A to Z.
The first step, that's the hardest.
Yes. But that A to A and a half.
Right.
Right.
That's doable.
It's doable.
But I will tell you, it
That's the
takes-
bigger step for me.
It's helpful if you can find even the smallest supporters, the right
Absolutely.
tribe around you
And let me
to
tell
help
you,
you
part
do
of
it.
finding it is taking that half a step.
Yeah.
Because the
Take
tribe,
an inventory
right.
too.
But
right?
when you
Like we
step,
talked
right,
about that.
if you're not in the tribe, if you take a step, a small one, a half a one,
You might
Right.
step out.
you're stepping into your tribe because you're stepping into your authenticity and you're gonna attract what you actually need.
Right. And we talked about that. Sometimes you gotta step out of what is familiar.
Yeah.
Right? And put yourself in where you wanna be and surround yourself with
Absolutely.
those that represent how you see yourself.
It's funny you said that. No, I talked to you guys about this last night. I want to say real quick. C. Renee Washington says, walking in FEAR, false evidence appearing real. Instead, do the damn thing afraid.
Tiny steps of power.
Yes. And Monica said, may I just say, I love to see each of your own dancing collectively. It's amazing. Thanks, Monica. But what I shared with you guys a story last night. One of my dearest friends realized he needed a different step. He realized he needed a different step. And it wasn't that he was stepping out from his friends. He realized he had a vision and he saw that vision. And he seeked out some different dance partners. And I have to be totally honest with you, at the time we were like,
What you doing?
right. Sir, please. Let me tell you something. When I saw his step, he, like Pat Barksdale said, he started dancing to a different beat. And when I saw that beat and the way he was dancing, I said to myself, I want to get on that beat. So instead of going, I stopped going, well, what?
Right.
And it made me change my beat.
So
It
wait,
made me change
are
my
you
flow.
saying that like his stepping where he needed to go felt like you were being left behind?
At first, I felt like I was being
And
left
then
behind.
when you were seeing his
Yes,
new dance,
his
it
new dance.
inspired
It
you.
inspired me. That's like your tribe is important. It inspired me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe I need a new step. Maybe I'm not in the corner, but I might need to change my beat.
Yeah.
Or your tribe.
And he, by seeing him do that, he also elevated us.
Right.
And he started bringing his circle up.
Those who were willing to
There
dance.
was those that were willing to dance, and I tell him this all the time, and I know he's watching, he knows who I'm talking about. I'm so grateful that he decided, you know what, I need to change my beat. And I'm so grateful that I got out of my way to see him and say, you know what, I want to be on that beat too.
Instead of being
Hurt and you know, instead of going, just as the way I'm gonna do things, you know? And so I'm grateful for that. And I encourage all of us, sometimes when we have people in our tribes and we see them going here, sometimes our first thing is like, well, what they doing?
It feels like a pain
feels
to us.
But I encourage us to take a moment, evaluate where we stand,
Yeah.
and then use that person as an inspiration to take action and do what you need to do.
Right.
You know?
There's
That's
two
boldness.
things, and I've been trying to juggle them in my head so I don't forget. I don't have no paper, I don't have no. And let me take my notes, okay? Because they're trying to do this TV thing. So before I forget, there's two things. You see us here together, and I feel really fortunate to have this group of ladies. This was
calculated. This was done on purpose. We were brought together. So there are many of us out there, and we talk about this, where your phones don't ring anymore, you don't have the same group of girlfriends and friends around you. Don't let it bother you if you don't have a tribe around you. One, we invite you to be a part of us.
Join the sisterhood. Join the sisterhood.
Right? And the truth is, even with or without a tribe, nobody's going to do it for you except for you.
Fashion.
Like, no one's ever going to be your best friend except for you. Not the way you can if you're going to treat yourself right. And you should be setting the standard of how you want to be treated. So that was the first thing. The second thing is, I want to acknowledge there are people, and especially as we're going towards a new year, it always seems like there's a lot of change, happening. And some of this change is not by our choice.
Right.
And it's in times like that it's really hard to get up and dance. But that's when you have to.
That's what you have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
That's I'm glad you said that. It made me think of my sister. My sister just recently ranked one of the highest ranks in the military, and it's like a huge accomplishment. Yes. She is a chief in the Air Force now, and it's just one of they call it the 1%, and it's something that a lot of people can't achieve or won't achieve because it's a lot of lonely nights. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of questioning who you are. You are in charge of a lot of people. You're responsible for a lot of people's lives. And she just, I just was bawling, and I get so emotional when I talk about it. One, because it's my only blood sister that is accomplishing these great things. But it's just, she's had to my sister's been gone for 20 years. And so she's been away from us to accomplish things. And she took that step at such a young age, not knowing anything. Right. Not knowing if she would succeed. She knew she would succeed, but not knowing how to get those steps. We talk all the time. Michelle says all the time, like, just say it to the universe, and the universe will make the path for you.
That's right.
And not knowing that concept and just kind of just jumping out, my sister didn't really know what the end result would be for her. She just knew that she was gonna get there.
That's right.
And so it's the loneliness thing kind of just hit me because we were talking, and she was just like, there's been many nights that I'm like, cut the cameras, cut the lights, I'm done, but because she found that deep perseverance, Jesus, and like kept going, now she is,
now look at her. Yeah. And that's really what we need to focus on, is like, now look at her.
Right.
Because I can even think of, there are people who are going through, other changes too, whether it's what you described, whether it's a divorce, whether it's a loss of job, lots of stuff seems to happen around the new year kind of thing. But look at her now. And sometimes, going back to you, Shell, it's the universe doing the job for you that needs to be done.
Just get out the way.
To get out the way. And that was another point that I wanted to say. She had a lot of people that started with her.
Oh, I can only imagine 20 years.
A lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of us that, were on this journey with her that now are not there. And I was just telling her, I was just like, even in my lives and all of our lives, we know that people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, or literally just to push you to the next thing.
That's right.
And then they're gone.
Right. They shove you up the
Like
cliff, and you turn around and see what's pushing you. You don't even know who it is.
Like they never existed. And I was just like, people, and it's good people and negative people.
A push is a push, honey.
A push is a push.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. And I was just telling my sister, I was just like, thank you for doing this, for being an example for me, for other women in her field, for Black women. Y'all know how I am.
Apologetic.
unapologetic presence.
Yes.
In whatever space you go into.
Yes.
My sister is very, very, like, if you see her, she is military. Okay? She is very, like, when she has on that uniform, she is military. And her presence is very strong. And she is not apologetic about it. And that's something that I'm like putting in my back pocket. Like, I know I'm not apologetic about a lot, but my sister is like times 10 of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need her on the show.
And so it's just something that, you know, I say for everybody to take some level of unapologeticness, that you can really walk into spaces and like stand flat-footed, not wavering at all.
Yes.
And be able to take that A&5, right?
It's
A&5,
B.
B&5.
Right.
B plus and a half.
Yes.
You know, I think listening to what you said about your sister and going back to the I Hope You Dance, I think people around try to make us forget who we are, and that is a way to destabilize the dance.
Right.
And make you on that shaky ground.
But also remember too, I read something one time, either read it or maybe you said it. Sometimes people do that. Sometimes they do it because they feel like they have your best interest. But also they do it because it makes them uncomfortable.
Yes.
And
Your
sometimes
dance makes
they,
them- most of the
that's
time it's
they
because it makes them-
operate in
That's
those
what they do.
limitations. That's how they operate.
Yeah.
And
It's a form of gaining powers too.
yeah.
For the other, you know, by stabilizing the person and making them doubt, so that they don't take that next step. They don't take that next dance, so that they stay within that box that they want. That's comfortable for them.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You know exactly what it's going for them. You know, and a true friend, and we talked about that yesterday. Even if they don't agree on your next dance, on your next rhythm, will let you and will be at your side even if you fall, and let you fall down and be like, you know what? At least you danced.
Right.
It was not the right dance, but
Right.
you did it.
That's
Now
right.
let's find the right rhythm that
That's
goes
right.
with your steps.
Right.
Right.
Support.
Support.
This has been an amazing conversation.
It has been amazing, and guess what?
What?
No.
We want to celebrate you because you danced.
You. She's like, hey.
So what the audience doesn't know is that Nikki, y'all know that she's amazing, but we are in a place that 2 weeks ago we didn't even know we would be in.
Right.
We are sitting at the top of the best city in the world. Yes, I said it. New York City. We're in a fabulous place. She's worked tirelessly for this day to happen. And it has happened at a level
Of excellence.
At Nikki's level.
you have no idea how big her heart is. And she doesn't sleep.
Literally,
And
we had to
she-
put her in the bed
We
yesterday.
had to put her, we had to say, stop.
Literally.
She does not waver from being this incredibly authentic soul that it's not for her, it's for
Us. Absolutely.
and us includes you.
Yeah.
And what she curated through her partners and wonderful people in this room that you can't see was an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah.
For us. I can't tell you all of it, but we in the presidential suite, honey. On the top of the world. So for that,
Visionary.
Behind you, I got this. Here you go.
here's a little something for you because we love you. It is a gift. This is a Black-owned spa.
That's right.
Female spa in Englewood, New Jersey, Serenity. We want you to take care of your spa. So have a spa day.
The way you take care of us.
If this is an ounce of what we can thank you for. This
today was you dancing. And you invited us to dance with you.
You
So-
invited us to dance with you almost 2 years ago. And we all said yes. Did she make you crying?
I'm falling. You know, child, get this on
Michelle
camera.
don't cry.
I don't know how she does work.
But it's just the love. You've been wrapping us in love since the first day of that pandemic. That's right. And you have carried us and invited all the women who now have access to this tribe into a space that ensures that we know that who we are is all we need to be. And it can be acknowledged and appreciated and supported. And that's simply because you decided to dance when you were on shaky ground. And we are thankful. And we love you. And we love you. We love you. I ain't gonna talk because y'all know.
Well,
It will be a good So now, we need to wrap the show.
Come on, girl.
Go back to the little girl 3 years old.
just dance.
There you go.
Just
There
dance.
you go.
Just dance.
I do want to say this though. I want to say this to our viewers. Like we've been saying, grab a sister,
Yes.
grab a brother. Phil Kogu, I see you on here. Grab a brother, grab a sister, grab a friend. And come on Saturdays at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's been an honor and a privilege. The women up here, 3 of them I met when I was in my 20s and my early 30s. They became my mentors and big sisters. One I met because I saw this loud woman zumbaing in a group exercise room.
You saw her dancing?
I saw her dancing.
Yes.
Almost, 12, 13, about to
11 years when I was pregnant
yeah,
with
yeah,
Luca.
yeah, with Luca. And I was like, I wanted that energy.
Yeah.
And I met this performer. I had known her for years, and she became my client. And every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, even though she's the young one in the group, I always felt like I was being taught in school. I learned from each and every one of you every week. And we learn from you guys. And thank you for this gift. I'm wrapping up, Kristen.
Nikki, that's our direction.
And thank you for going on this journey. There's so much more for us to do. There's so much more for all of us to do. We love you guys. We want you to continue dancing.
Dance through this holiday season.
Dance through this holiday season. This is our last show before we go into 2022.
That's right.
And we encourage you guys to dance. Get out of the corner. You already know the steps.
That's right.
And if you feel like you don't know the steps, just ask yourself, why? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? What is I want to do?
That's right.
And find your beat. You have your tribe. We are here for you. We love you. Does anyone else want to say anything before we shut this down?
Dance!
Dance, you guys. We love you.
Happy
Happy holidays. Follow us. Go to Instagram. Follow us on ladiesfirstchitchatcrew.com. Join our tribe on Facebook at Ladies First Chit Chat Crew. We love you
And
guys.
come back in 2022,
2022.
Saturdays at 11 Eastern Standard.
Yes.